Slaves to the darkness, slaves to the darkness, slaves to the darkness. Ladies and gentlemen, here's chaos. Well, if you didn't recognise that very poor rendition of Grace Jones' Slave to the Rhythm, I don't blame you. But today we're going to be looking at Slaves to Darkness. It's the new figure set for Warhammer Age of Sigmar by Games Workshop, and they're so confident that you're going to recognise what it is that they've put the title in some strange made-up font, which looks like the kind of thing that a 12-year-old would put on one of their exercise books in school. It's not even very good typography, it's just funny. Yeah, anyway, it's even on the sides, it's everywhere. They're very confident, Games Workshop, that you're going to know what this is, but of course you probably will, because look at it, it's got a big, Chaos Warrior guy on the cover. Anyway, inside you get 14 miniatures, there's a Demon Prince, some Ogroid Theridans, and some Chaos Chosen. I've put them together so I can show them to you. There's also a very nice book. Here it is, a Slave to Darkness book, full of profiles and information and background fluff. There's some war scrolls and enhancement cards. Let's check it all out. Here we go. Right then, let's have a look at the book first, Slaves to Darkness. First thing you notice is this lovely gold edging here, which is very nice indeed. And also there's a lovely matte finish to the book with a gold foil logo and name. It's a very nice book and feels lovely. Really nice quality. So here we go. Now, of course, you've got all the usual stuff here that you get in battle times, though the interesting thing about this book is that it covers, of course, all of the different factions of Chaos, and also, and I don't know if they've done this before actually, but they've included a lot of stuff from Warcry, so it's quite a multi-purpose book. Now, I don't know about you, but I've read about Nurgle and Slaanesh and Khorne and is the other one? Tzeentch, so many times, right back to the original Warhammer. I think I've read their stories a gazillion times. Of course, this has been updated for the Age of Sigmar, but I certainly know all about these 4 Chaos Gods. So, the background material is not very interesting to me, but of course may be interesting to you. And it's got a history of the various things that the Chaos Gods are doing in the Age of Sigmar, and the different legions, that kind of thing. And now I've got Archaon the Ever-Chosen, or he might be Archaon or Archaon, don't know how you pronounce that. So this is the guy who's responsible for killing the old world and plunging us all into the Age of Sigmar. Yep, here he is. Beautiful illustration, this, by the way, isn't it? Stunning. It's quite like a Renaissance, something you'd see on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, really. So Archaon is responsible. Now, in this Age of Sigmar, now we have Archaon. We also have another guy called Be'lakor, or Be'lakor from Mordor. And he is the original Ever-Chosen, who's the head Chaos guy. But of course, Archaon came along and bumped him out of the top spot. Basically like a management takeover, and Be'lakor is very annoyed about that, and he's trying to get back to the boss spot again. However, considering Archaon is about what is he, about 800 and something points, let's just check that. Yeah, he's 860 points, and Be'lakor is 355 points. I don't think Archaon is in a lot of trouble anytime soon. But there you go. The good thing is, of course, is that you may know that Games Workshop has for a while been teasing the return of the old world. So I'm assuming what they're going to do is, in much the same way they released Horus Heresy for Warhammer 40,000, they'll probably release a standalone box set for Warhammer Fantasy Battle, similar to the old rules, of course, that nobody plays anymore, and set in the old world and the whole thing. That's my prediction, so we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, there's those 2 guys. I've got various champions and things, so Chaos Sorcerers, etc., Chaos Warriors. The Ogroids, pronunciation terrible, Demon Princes and Chaos Spawn, etc. And then we get into the warbands. So this is the thing that really surprised me about this book, and that I was quite pleased with, is that it covers all the warbands that have been released for Warcry. So they're now part of the Chaos Hordes, and I haven't noticed them doing this before. Maybe they did this last time and this isn't new. I'm not really 100% sure, but certainly now it's just great to have all these, because I've got a few Warcry warbands, and so if I put together a Chaos army, I could include those weird warbands in my army, which is fantastic. We get into some lovely pictures, of course. Here is the Demon Prince, which I'll show you in a moment, this guy here. And here's Be'lakor, who is a gorgeous model. I mean, look at the size of it. It's beautiful. The wingspan is fantastic. Really like him. He probably costs a fortune, but you know, he's a beautiful model. Then we have various Chaos Champions and things. So the funny thing about this, of course, because it brings together all these different Chaos warriors from following different Chaos gods and things like that, some of the models are a little bit old and really need some updating, but we'll get to that in a moment. There's the Ogroids, of which we have a few in this box set. And then it starts showing some of the Warcry stuff. These are the two large monster figures from Warcry. A little painting guide, of course. And then we get on to the rules section, and you've got your usual selection here of, you know, battle traits and enhancements and relics and artifacts and all that kind of stuff. Some damned legions with special rules. Your Path to Glory stuff, so if you want to do a Path to Glory campaign, you've got your specific quests, and of course you've got a battle plan there as well, Ritual of Corruption, and some War Scroll battalions if you want to put together your Chaos army in a particular way to get the advantages of these particular war bands and battalions. Match play rules, and then we get on to the War Scrolls themselves. And here's Archaon and his huge thing that he flies on. What's it called? Dorgar. Yes, there he is, the three-headed Dorgar. Or is he four-headed? No, he's three-headed. Pretty stunning model. I don't know how often you'd use it in a particular in a game of Age of Sigmar, because you know it'd be so dominating. You'd have to have a huge army, I imagine. And certainly a challenge to paint. There's our Demon Prince. We've got now some mounted figures. Be'lakor himself, or itself. And there's some of the figures that you might recognise from other sets. So we've got a figure of the wizard here, the Gaunt Summoner from Silver Tower, Warhammer Quest Silver Tower. I've got that set, so again you can get all the models from that set and use them to make up a cinch army, or part of a Chaos army with your cinch part. Chaos Lords, various stripes. There's your Ogroid Therodons and Myrmidons. Oh, pronunciation, I'm just hopeless, you know, especially when I'm filming. Big Chaos War Shrine. Now these ones are starting to look really dated. I laughed at these when they first came out, and I'm still laughing at them. The Chaos Chariot, that model looks terrible. I remember that came out years ago. It must have been, it's definitely more than 10 years, because I remember laughing about it on my old blog, which was before the Esoteric Order of Gamers, I think. So that Chaos Chariot model has been out a long time, and it looked really dinky when it came out. It looks dinky now. So they really should update those kind of things. It's a bit silly putting that in a modern book. And some of these models look really old. This one here looks like something out of Hero Quest, the original Hero Quest. Anyway, here's the Dark Oath Chieftain, which is a model in I think Silver Tower, in one of the Warhammer Quest games. So it's kind of bits from everywhere you can reuse, which is a good thing. I mean, I like to be able to reuse models from other games in my army. Look at this model here. I mean, look how old that is. It hasn't got any muscle definition. Even the paint job is really quite dinky. So they've really dragged a few oldies. Chaos Marauders. You'd think there'd be some new Chaos Marauders, wouldn't you? And these guys have been around for a while too. Soul Grinder and Slaughter Brute. Then we get on to the Warcry warbands. So you can have the Horns of Hashut and, you know, on and on, all the Warcry ones. So I've actually got the Horns of Hashut, the Unmade. I've got the Iron Golems, the Untamed Beasts. What else have we got? Furies and Raptorics. So yeah, instant Chaos army almost. And of course you've got your endless spells at the end and your pitch battle profiles. And that is it. So a handy little book if you want to sort of scrape together a Chaos army from all kinds of bits and bobs. It's really nice. Of course, in this set you do get some nice cards as well. You know, your various special abilities there on cards, which is lovely. And a very generous pack of war scrolls here. We've got a few counters. And then heaps and heaps of war scrolls. So this must cover almost everything, well, must cover everything that's in the book. So very handy indeed to get all that in one go. Let's have a look at the models. Right, starting off with the Ogroids. We've got a lovely banner guy here. Now, of course, you don't have to have these special ones like the musician and the standard bearer. You can just have 3 standard Ogroids if you want to just make them up like that. But I made them up with these because they look great. And in most of these, well, certainly on the Demon Prince and on these, I'm not so sure on the other one. Let me just check. Yes, you can. So on all of these, you can, if there's a shield or something like that, you can change the symbol on it. So in this case, on the war banner, I put the Nurgle symbol on it. So I decided to go Nurgle because I have quite a lot of nice painted Nurgle warriors. So I thought Nurgle army would be good. If I'm going to put together a Chaos one, I think Nurgle's the way to go. So these figures do look very much Khorne related because they're very spiky and armored. But, you know, changing the sigils and things like that, they certainly would be fine for an army of any stripe, really. And you could paint the armor differently and things like that. So I've got that guy. We've got this lovely musician. These guys are great. Big, muscly, big-shouldered guys. They look really violent and nasty. Here's your third guy. This is the champion. Just a general nasty sigil for his shield. But yeah, he looks great. Then we've got 10 Chaos Chosen. Here's our standard bearer. As you can see, I put the Nurgle symbol on the top there. A very nice musician. This guy beating the drum. You can just see him really hammering that drum as he goes into war. Here's my champion. The huge axe. And then we've got a bunch of other Chaos Chosen. Again, for my Nurgle army, they don't look particularly Nurgle-like, but you could just say that these are Chaos Warriors, you know, just joining Nurgle and they haven't got all disgusting yet and covered with pustules and all the rest of it. Diseases and sores. Absolutely perfect for a Khorne army though. Very nice, big, chunky Chaos Warriors in the grand tradition of Games Workshop. Chaos Warriors go back a long, long time. And of course, the original idea from Chaos was very much inspired by Michael Moorcock's books, especially the Elric of Melniboné series. But generally in his books, there was always sort of a Chaos lore dichotomy. Finally, we've got this gorgeous Demon Prince. Now, there's a choice of heads on this one, which is great. And he is quite a beautiful figure. Really, really impressive. You can also have an axe or a sword on there. Because I was going Nurgle, I thought a sword was more appropriate than an axe. But what a beauty, eh? That's certainly a fantastic centerpiece for a small Chaos army. Very much looking forward to painting that one up. Well, there we have it, folks. Slaves to Darkness. A lovely starter set if you're wanting to get into Chaos or indeed want to add some more Chaos figures to a lot of existing figures, perhaps from Warcry or from Warhammer Quest sets and stuff like that. It's amazing how you collect these figures as you go along. And I really like the idea that in a Chaos army you can bring together all these disparate figures from different places and put an army together. Beautiful Demon Prince figure. Absolutely love that. I don't know what the retail is on this, so I'm not sure what it's like value-wise, but as always, Games Workshop is incredibly expensive, especially here in New Zealand. So as always, it's up to you whether you want to pay the cost, but they certainly are beautiful quality, and the book is great. Really lovely book. Also getting all those war scrolls in one place is great, but yeah, I do love that book and the way it brings all those stats together. And even the look and feel of this, the gold edge and all the rest of it, it's a lovely book. I will see you next time on the Esoteric Order of Gamers. Orderofgamers.com is the website. I've actually got an Age of Sigmar rules and reference if you want to go along there and download it. It's for the latest edition, of course. I'm on all the social media channels. In fact, I just joined up to Mastadon as well, so you can find me there as well. All my updates go onto all of those channels, so you can keep track of everything that I'm doing. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.